Hey! Welcome to the end of January, and I'm actually filming a favorite in the month that it is. Good progress. Maybe not much though, because this is still a mess, because I just enjoy talking about the things that I'm talking about, rambling, and apparently clapping my hands a lot. This month, I've been able to just kind of feel the Oscars in the air, and so it's been very film focused. So I've been watching a lot of films, but I watched a bunch of other stuff as well. And so let's just talk about the favorite things I watched in January. First up, we have something just really, really nice. I don't know about you guys, but January has been stressing me out. There's been a lot of other things just stress me out as well. And so this is from the Mean Kitty channel, and it's called Baby's First Time Petting Kitties. This was just everything I needed in my life. It's a few minutes of just pure joy. And just, it's reinforced 10 times over my need for cats in my life. It filled me with just that good feeling inside. So definitely go check that out if you just want to smile. Next up, to the complete opposite, let's just address all the stuff that's happening. Casey Neistat's ban at JFK Airport with all the stuff that's been happening recently. And he went there and he just made this really great personal video. I don't know, sometimes you see these pictures on Twitter and you see these news reports and stuff, and I feel a bit distanced from it. But Casey, the way he just makes his vlogs and everything, it feels very personal. It almost feels like I'm there, and he just speaks to people. Really got to the core of it in a sense. So I really like that video. Next up, we have something really fun again. Up and down in this video apparently. And this is from Out the Box TV, Tom. Tom makes these really great, like, just adventure videos. He makes me want to go outside and, like, do stuff, okay? Not a lot does that. This month, in January, he's gone to Thailand, and he's made these amazing, like, Thailand videos just showing him and his wife, who is also lovely, just going around Thailand, visiting temples, and just, like, experiencing the culture and eating food, and it's just so brilliant. But this video in particular, I high-fived an elephant, was from when they went to this elephant, like, sanctuary. They got to go and just give food to these elephants and, like, pet them, and then went swimming with them, and it's just such a fun video. He addressed that a lot of times elephant places where you go swimming with elephants in Thailand and stuff, they're not good, like they beat the elephants. This place was actually a sanctuary for elephants who had been in those places, and so they weren't allowed to ride the elephants or anything like that. And the elephants just seemed to be having the best time. They just seemed so happy. It seemed quite genuine and good to me, and their whole video was very good. But his whole Thailand experience has been so brilliant. It's so pretty. So yeah, definitely go check Tom out, go check out his whole channel. Like, it's just great. Finally, for YouTube, we have a short film. This is Hero by Dominic Fear. This short film is about a superhero who's just been through facing a villain that seems to be too powerful for him, and sort of his fear with that he's actually afraid. It's very human, it's very, personal, and I think it's what the superhero genre needs. I'm getting tired of the, like, same superhero thing, and he just seemed to really nail just a real person behind the superhero. And it's brilliantly made, it's funny, and it's just really on point. And so I'd highly recommend to go check out Hero by Dominic Fear. Next up, we have television. This month, okay, I spoke once before about my weakness for certain types of reality television. This is one of my favorite shows on TV. It's reality, but it's so good. And that is Survivor. For anyone who doesn't know, because we don't have it in England, Survivor is a show where they take about 20 people, I'd say 16, something like that, and they put them on an island into 2 different tribes. And they have to be there and survive, they have to build a shelter, they have to, like, go hunting for food and stuff, and they also have to, like, compete against each other in these competitions to get more rewards as food, and also to stay away from tribal council, where every week they vote out what person should go home. It's such a good show. I don't know if I can really explain it, because it's so intricate. There's so many elements to winning this game. You have people really good at, like, competition and doing well in all of the challenges and things, but they can often get voted out because they're seen as a threat. Because the people, when they're voting people out, are thinking, who can I beat down the line? The people who get voted out are the people who become the jury, and they choose who the winner is. So the three people at the end have to appeal to the people who they got out of the game in order to win. So it's about like getting people out and staying in yourself, but at the same time not doing it in a way that people won't like you so that they won't vote for you in the end. And it's about trust. Like, how can you really trust strangers when you know that everyone wants to win? And the sort of the politics and manipulation around that. It's still real. They're still there on the island and the struggle. Oh, it's just so good, people. And I know that it's reality TV and it's constructed, but it feels quite real. I can't imagine it being scripted because there are so many moments which, as a writer or whatever, you wouldn't do that. You pick out your favorite characters, you're like, okay, that person should win. But often they're the ones who get voted out because the other people see them as a threat. And so you have like blind sides and Giant Survivor is so good and no one watches it. And I want to just talk about it with everyone because it's so good. Okay, that's actually my only TV recommendation for this month. As I said, this month has been all about the films. I've been going to the cinema so much. It's been so fantastic. And there's just been a lot of great films this year. Like, this year for films has just been phenomenal. And actually, I feel a bit bad because, okay, we already spoke about La La Land in my last video, so we all know I love La La Land, and as far as I'm concerned, that should win the Best Picture. There's so many other great films this year. I'm just like, why did they have to come out the same year as La La Land? Normally, I wouldn't talk about this many films, and I'd just talk about my absolute favorites, but because you have films like La La Land, it's sort of unfair on the other films, which are so great and I would normally speak about, just because in comparison to La La Land and like that level of film, they're not as high. So I'm just going to talk about the Oscar films that I've seen so far this year, because I think they all deserve to be spoken about. They are all part of my favorites. Just some are higher favorites. Oh, I just want to talk about all of them. First of all, I just need to give a little shout out to Arrival, because that's one of the Oscar nominated films. It's great. I already spoke about it in my favorites in December, I would say. But I already spoke about it. It's a great film, but I saw that months ago, so yes. Hacksaw Ridge. This one has Andrew Garfield in it, and it's about a man in World War II who was a Seventh-day Adventist, and he chooses to go to war because he felt he had a duty to do that, but didn't want to carry a gun because he didn't believe in taking another human's life. I'm not a war movie type person. I just don't like them. They tend to be too like, we are on the good side and look at the other bad people. And so actually for the film to be able to still touch me and for me to still like it, I just think that speaks a lot to Hacksaw Ridge. It seemed to not glorify it too much. There were a couple of moments where I was just like, really? You seem to be enjoying all of the blood and gore and like making it look, you know, amazing and spectacular. More than anything, I felt almost tired by it. One moment where they go over into like the ridge thing and it's just constant. It's just go, 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 cut, 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 sound, sound, sound. And it's relentless. It's exhausting. And you kind of feel like you're there with them. But the big part of this for me was the main character was based on true story, was a Seventh-day Adventist, which is my denomination. And honestly, I was so on edge going into this because whenever my denomination is mentioned in the mainstream at all, like a certain presidential nominee who I used to be a huge fan of, he's a Seventh-day Adventist and he ran on some things which I did not agree with. When people like that say that they are Seventh-day Adventists, it's like, oh, that's not what I believe, but yeah. And actually the church in general has a lot of things which I don't personally agree with, and so I separate a lot of my faith from the church, even though I do still identify as Seventh-day Adventist. But I felt they did a good job of sort of portraying him as sort of honorable, but it wasn't like he was better than anyone. It was really well done. Just one thing that I noticed from a Seventh-day Adventist perspective. He goes on this date with this girl to the cinema. And I was just like, I don't think that would have happened, because going to the cinema is still a debate within that's still an issue for some people, and that's part of the reason why I think the church is becoming increasingly outdated. But that's a whole nother video. Except for that though, it felt quite accurate, and it was good. And actually the fact that I went into it not liking war movies, it being about like a Seventh-day Adventist, so I was like, my guards were up, and I still enjoyed it, and it was still good. I think that speaks a lot to this film. Next up we have Moonlight. This film was just really touching. It was really emotional. It was difficult and challenging, but also really beautiful at the same time. It's about a young kid who grows up in a bad district. There's a lot of crime, there's a lot of drug use, his mother is a drug abuser, and it's sort of him being in that environment, and a coming of age film about him and sort of what happens with him. And I don't actually want to spoil it. I think you should go into this film and like just not even know more than that. It's very, very well made. It's very well acted. Like the cinematography is just gorgeous. There's so many just really pretty shots amidst the sort of gritty reality of this. And it's just a really wonderful, important, I think, coming of age story. And here's the thing. Again, I don't relate to sort of gangster films. That's so far removed from my reality, from my lifestyle, that I just don't tend to relate to those characters. I just really find it difficult to be with them in the film, in the story, in that world when they're like caught up in drugs and stuff. But this film managed to you know, really connect with me. And I think it will connect with most people. It sort of looks past that and again just looks at the people. And the whole cast, like, fantastic. From the kids all the way up to the adults. I have to say in particular to Mahershala Ali. I think it's best supporting actor and I hope he gets it at the Oscars as well. There are just these really tender, powerful moments from him. Yeah, I can't give this film enough praise. It's so high up there. It's if La La Land is not to win Best Picture, I think Moonlight should get it. But I do think La La Land is better. But they're such different films. You can't really compare them. But La La Land touched me in a way that Moonlight didn't. And Moonlight probably couldn't touch me in that way. Next up, we have Hidden Figures. This one is about these women who worked within NASA's like space program when they were trying just to get a man up into trying to get a man up into space. The black women who were behind this, the calculators. You kind of can't believe that this is based on real life, that we have ignored these people who were so vital to the operation, who were so groundbreaking, but of course, they were black and they were women, so like, no, we're not going to speak about them. Like, that's the thing, this film, you know, it's about racism, but it was still a really funny film. Sometimes I think films about racism stuff, and it's fair enough, but they are quite heavy, but this had a lightness about this that was so great. And the other thing, the film felt really present for now. It felt like it was tackling today's issues, having these white characters not think that they're racist themselves. I think that's a lot of what's reflected nowadays. Let's just get back into that whole thing. Oh, I'm getting political again, but these films are political. They're important for now, and it just seemed to have a message for today's audience, despite being set in the 1960s. You can see I'm not good at dates. Finally, the final Oscar film that I saw twice this month. It's one of the best films I've ever seen in my whole life. I already spoke about it in my last video because I couldn't help myself. It's La La Land. I don't know. What can I even say about this film? It's gorgeous. It's fantastical. It's so real and emotional. I don't have words, okay? This was me when I came out of the cinema. I just came out. I had the biggest smile on my face throughout the film, okay? Like, I was just smiling because it was just so good. And I came out just speechless. A film does not affect me like this normally. I try to, like, approach it intellectually. Like, oh, yes, it was great because of cinematography and the character arc and blah. And this film, I had nothing to say. I was just affected on an emotional level. I have never cried at a film before. Be that because of, you know, internalized ideas about, you know, toxic masculinity and that, you know, men can't cry, blah, blah, or because I just have a stone heart. I don't know, but I've never cried at a big film before until La La Land. Just the sequence right at the end, I just started feeling it. Like, the music came up and I just started feeling it, and then just at the end, no one else seemed to be affected, but I was just like tears streaming down my face. It just broke me in the best way. Like, I love it so much. I relate to it. It talks about the film industry and struggling in the film industry. Here's to the fools who dream. That song was just for me. I said this in an earlier video about goals, yeah, for this year. It's so relevant to just me now. I decided I need to just go for the goal. I need to go for the goal of wanting to edit an Oscar-winning film. I want to edit these films that I've seen and spoken about. And I know that's foolish. I know that probably won't happen, right? And this film just seemed to validate that crazy dream. Here's to the fools who dream, foolish as they may seem. Oh, it was what I needed. And see, I'm still just talking about feeling. I'm gonna go see it again. Maybe then I'll be able to start like analyzing a bit more of what I thought about it and all of that. But at the moment, it's still just kind of like feeling it. And I haven't even spoken about the cinematography. Like, It's gorgeous to watch as well. This film is so good. This is Damien Chazelle. He did Whiplash as well, which is like another one of my favorite films of all time. Before this film, I already wanted to work on one of his films, but now it's like a life goal to work on Damien Chazelle film. I don't care what position, I just want to be a part of creating magic. Let me know what you think of anything I've spoken about today, and especially what you think of the films. What do you think it's gonna win Best Picture if you've seen this film? I love film. Film is great, everyone, okay? And I need to make more of it. Some stuff in the works, but I always say that, so, and it takes me forever. You guys will see me soon, hopefully. Probably, maybe. Who knows? Bye! Thanks for watching. Bye.